Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be taking a look at my short link website. There's not really a nice control plane as of now. You can kind of think of this as a V1, just as a proof of concept, I guess you could say, but I'm going to show you some of what I'm doing with my short links, and maybe I can get some feedback in the comments, and I can improve my system a little more. So without further ado, let's get started. Before we begin, I want to kind of just show you what I'm talking about when I talk about short links. So there's websites like bit.ly.com, or I think Google used to have one, that essentially just lets you create these short URL links that forward to a full URL. So an example of this is beamnet.works/YT. This is actually going to take you to the YouTube channel. Hey guys, today we're going to be checking out Proxmox. Let's get started with the installation. As you could hear there, it takes you to the YouTube page. And I'm using this kind of for a few different purposes. One of them is eventually going to be tracking. I want to see how many people click on a link, not necessarily like their IP or anything. I won't do IP logging. It's more just on a request by request basis. I want to see if people are using the links and that kind of thing. If we do beamnet.works/ well, actually, before we continue, let's just pull up the whole list of ones that we have. So this is running on NGINX on a virtual machine. So if we go to nano beamnet.works, I cloned the config just to make it a little easier to read for the purposes of this video. And if you wanted to copy this and make this at home, you could totally do that. So up here at the top, we're mapping these URLs to the redirect URLs. And you'll see why this kind of makes sense here in a second. It's just essentially defining these variables and mapping them. It's essentially just mapping these variables up here. We'll define them later on. So let's go down here, and this is saying we're listing on port 80, and the server name is beamnet.works. One thing to note is I'm running this through a Cloudflare tunnel, so Cloudflare is providing access to this virtual machine in NGINX here, and then it's forwarding it on from there. So by default, it's going to catch everything, and if the link does not exist, it's going to forward to beamnetworks.dev. So you'll notice here that if I go here, beamnetworks/hello YouTube, it's going to take me straight to beamnetworks.dev, and this is intentional. This is that way if something goes wrong with a link, or if the links aren't working correct, they always fail back over to beamnetworks.dev. It's not going to show an error page. It'll just forward right onto beamnetworks.dev. So right here we have the access log. I don't think this is enabled yet, and I'm pretty sure it's not enabled, but we'll check it out later. We have the access log right there, as well as the return, the 307, the redirect URL. Essentially, it's just saying if the redirect URL matches one that's on the list, it's going to redirect you and log it in the access log. Now, if we continue, I defined a robots.txt. This is kind of just me testing. I left this on the config in case you wanted to do the same. That way, robots don't go to these links. Not that it necessarily matters, but I just put it there just to kind of see and test the waters, you could say. Now, let's take a look at the maps.txt file. So I have a text file on here. You'll see this is all of the different ones that I have created so far. So I'm just listing these off in a config file, and NGINX then takes this and makes it into the links. So to make the links, I guess I just add a new line. The new line is going to be /test HTTPS. This can go to, I don't even know, beamnetworks.dev/test, and then I'll close out that line. So that's kind of how you can make a link here. And use that within NGINX. But so I have YouTube, Contact Solutions, Docs, a few like separate ones, YouTube and Instagram. So yeah, that's kind of just how this all works. It's actually really basic. Let's go here to the NGINX configuration file. If you scroll down to the log format, this is where it pulls the metrics, I guess, from the logs. So you'll see here, oh, keyboard's not working. Looks like my SSH connection is frozen there, but you can see on the screen that it's creating the format for the logs. I'll put it all on the screen or in the description below. I'll probably make a documentation page for that. It's essentially creating the links to the logs and defining how they are like laid out. That way then I can take Node-RED. Node-RED can parse through that and figure out each individual log and then throw that into a SQL database. That way I can get easy analytics and that kind of thing straight from the database. So it can save me time on having to look through the logs. I can just pull a report from the SQL database, and that should help kind of facilitate that. Like I said, that's kind of in a beta, but this is just a V1 of the logs. So this is a very short video, but if you like what you see, if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, leave a comment down below. I'm looking for feedback on how I can improve this system. It works pretty well. And yeah, it's getting the job done. Let's test another link here. And as you can see, that VM just crashed or something because it's not working now. So obviously there's lots of room for improvement here, but That's kind of the general idea. If you have anything to say, leave it a comment down below. I'm curious on your thoughts for this, and yeah, so that's about all. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day. I will see you in the next one.